to go, along with much more to thrive and much more to show. Let us rejoice in the majestic journey of this establishment. A very good day to one and all present here. I invite you to the Golden Jubilee celebration of the Estuarine Biology Laboratory Pulicat, another milestone to the accomplishments in the history of the Department of Zoology, Madras Christian College, and for Professor P.J. Sanjeev Raj's endowment lecture. Prayer is the key of the morning, bolt of the evening, and lock of the night. So let us begin this celebration with a word of prayer, invoking God's blessings. I now request the gathering to stand for the prayer song.
In an anniversary like this, it always calls our attention to look at the past and what is in the present and what is going to be in the future. And as we have just heard read in Ephesians chapter 3 and verse 20, it says, God's work, God's power is at work within you, within us. Or in other words, we need to remember the vision which the founders have had 50 years ago in order to establish this kind of a lab, and how it was translated into a lab and how much of sacrifice have gone in order to sustain this lab. Our principal often used to say, starting a program is fantastic, but sustaining it is the nucleus and the climax. So sustaining a program in a remote place like this is or involves a lot of sacrifice. And we can remember of all those who had sacrificed their lives and those who are in the present who had also been a part of the sacrifice of sustaining this lab and the programs in the lab. And at this point, I would like to call your attention to the phrase which I had said, which comes from Ephesians chapter 3 and verse 20. It says, God's power is at work within us. When we look at the future of this lab, how it is going to be, and what is my part in it. And therefore we need to pledge into commitment of what God had shown, of what God wants this lab to be in the future. And it is always to remember that God's power is always at work in us. And may God help that God's power will continuously work within us, and we would see a great future from this land in the days to come. Amen.
His sustaining grace, His love, wonderful creation, the time He gave us to gather in His place. Lord, we thank You. Lord, we praise You. We acknowledge the wonderful creation You have made, and You also created every one of us in this year. Lord, we thank You. Lord, we pray for this place. Thank You, Lord, for the beautiful lake. Thank You, Lord, the founding fathers of the Estuarine Biological Laboratory founded here. Thank You, Lord, for the college authorities who sustained this place. Thank You, Lord, for the people of the Pulicat. They have a good relationship with us. Thank You, Lord, for the students around us. Thank You, Lord, every year after year, streams of students are coming here, learning the environment. Lord, we thank You. Thank You, Lord, You protected our students from type of dangers when they sail through the boats. Lord, we thank You. Thank You, Lord, we love You. We want to glorify Thy name. Thank You, Lord, for this time of prayer. Kindly accept us, Lord, as we do. We may glorify Thy name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
80% is an alumnus of the Madras Christian College. He also served as a demonstrator of Madras Christian College, who is the father of zoology. Who is that? Professor T.N. Ananthakrishna. Shall we give a round of applause? Probably in heaven we will be listening to the clap. We are very grateful for the presence of Dr. Sampath, a world-renowned scientist. We are happy with the presence of Professor Ann Stevens today. Professor Ananthakrishna used to organize, he's with the Lord now, and I had the good fortune to be his disciple for 10 years before he left for America. He had produced 50 PhD students, but he chose me to be his disciple. And I served them in the field of academics. I served them faithfully to his satisfaction as his disciple, as his son, academic son, without any expectation, without anything in return from him. And he is the connecting person between Professor T.J. Pandian and me. Professor T.J. Pandian and many top class scientists in the country used to be invited by him in Laila College between the period 83 and 86, and we used to go eagerly, like today, like how you have come to listen to Professor T.J. Pandian. We used to go as a young scholar from Padappai to listen to the lectures of great people in zoology. And one among them is Professor T.J. Pandian. I still remember his vivid lecture delivered in the Yedanapalli Hall in Naila College on bioenergetics. And subsequently he published that paper in the proceedings of the prestigious Indian National Science Academy on bioenergetics. How he was able to put in the bioenergetics, in those days equipment like bomb calorimeter. How many of you know? It will be a bomb to all of you. How he worked with a formula, everything. And I tried to do a little bit with some lepidopterans those days. And secondly, I listened to his lecture when the GS Gill Research Institute was dedicated in Guru Nanak College, sir, when you delivered the lecture. I remember, memory cannot, history cannot be erased. History cannot be wiped out. It will ever live. I have to close because I can keep on speaking about Professor Teacher. And we are very happy that on this occasion, a fitting tribute to the legacy of Professor Sanjeev Raj is going to be made by him. And please also don't remember that our connections are going to be over now. Our connections are going to be strengthened from now on between Professor Pandian, the Department of Zoology and Madras Christian College. We just had informal discussions and he was advising us how to bring in crores of rupees in terms of funding to the Department of Zoology, Madras Christian College. Please give a round of applause to him. We may say goodbye to him shortly from now, but we'll be eagerly looking forward to welcoming him again to the Madras Christian College for academic discussions. With these words, let me tell you the next 50 years is going to be certainly glorious. Young faculty members are there seated before me, and therefore on behalf of the Madras Christian College, I certainly feel very privileged to participate because this is happening during our time. 2018 for Madras Christian College is a very important year. Many new things are happening, including the Golden Jubilee celebrations of Martin Hall. And this again is a landmark in the history of Madras Christian College. May we continue to pray for the center. May we continue to work intensively through the center. And may the students of the past and of the future and of the present and the faculty be blessed by this wonderful place, the biological laboratory, the Assuring Biological Laboratory of Pulicat. God bless the Department of Zoology. God bless the Madras Christian College. Thank you.
I have the great pleasure to read the letter of admiration to Dr. P.J. Sanjeev Raj. We, the members of the Department of Zoology, Madras Christian College, are greatly indebted for the long and dedicated services of Professor P.J. Sanjeev Raj to the cause of education in general and to the Department of Zoology in particular. Professor Raj has been a shining beacon of light, illuminating the minds of students with not only of his subject zoology, but also inculcating awareness on the environmental concerns both among the students and the fisher folks of the Pulicat village. An alumnus of Madras Christian College for his BSc Honours and MA Zoology, Professor Raj took his PhD in fish parasitology from the University of Connecticut, USA. He was elected to the Pi Beta Kappa and Sigma 11 of the Connecticut chapter in 1962. He joined the faculty of Zoology, Madras Christian College, and served as the professor and head of the department for 21 years, that is from 1964 to 1985. Professor Raj was instrumental in introducing many innovative courses in the department and guided 12 scholars towards the PhD. He has published over 90 research papers, 200 book reviews, and 30 popular articles. He has authored 3 books on Pulicat Bay, where he established a renowned estuarine biological laboratory in 1968. He is the pioneer in the field of estuarine ecology in India. His initiative has motivated the Government of India and other institutes to establish the Estuarine, Marine and Inland Water Research Institutes. Recognizing his contribution pertaining to the environment of Pulicat, the Department of Environment, Government of Tamil Nadu awarded the Kamaveer Kamaraj Award in 2002-2003. On behalf of the Department of Zoology, Madras Christian College, we are honored to recognize the selfless service rendered by Professor Raj a visionary academician and social reformer who championed the environmental concerns of the localities of Pulicat. This letter of admiration is presented to Professor P.J. Sanjeevaraj with great respect, gratitude and humility on the occasion of the Golden Jubilee celebration of the Ishwan Biological Laboratory, Pulicat. Principal, Madras Christian College, Federal Department of Zoology, 23rd November 2018. I'd like to request our principal to receive this and hand over to Professor C.J. Sanjeevaraj.
Thank you, sir.
பெருமமிகு பேராசிரியர் பெருமக்களே, இந்த ஊரின் மிக முக்கியமான நபர்களே, ஊராண்மை தலைவர் அவர்களே, அன்புமிகு மாணவ செல்வங்களே, அழைக்கப்பட்ட விருந்தினர்களே, I first like to record my very sincere thanks to the authorities of Madras Christian College, especially the principal and the head of the department for inviting me and honoring me to deliver this 5th endowment lecture of Professor Dr. Sanjeevaraj. At this point, I very gratefully remember, usually an endowment lecture is delivered by his associates, his students, or an eminent scientist. As you all know, I am neither of it. When I received the invitation, actually I am writing a book on practical methods. I was writing and reading Sanjeevaraj's paper on monogenia, and he called me. That is a heaven-sent moment I accepted. Otherwise, I do not deserve this. At this point, I very gratefully remember who is Sanjeevaraj. There are only 2-3 examples to compare with Professor Sanjeevaraj. Professor Sheshaya, also from Andhra Pradesh, discovered Arangipet, about 20 kilometers away from Chidambaram. Professor Sanjeevaraj discovered Pulicat. It is like Columbus discovering America. I wish we are going to talk about it. Therefore, this is again God's sent moment. Professor Dr. Devanesan, former principal, Indian first principal in Vice-Chancellor of North Indian University, and a classmate of Dr. Mr. Indira Gandhi, happened to be a Pulicat man. And when Professor, you should all know, this is only a private college, minority college, to purchase 10 acres of land yonder from Christian College. Because Christian College itself is a donated acre of forest land. To purchase the property should be a heaven-sent moment. The rare combination of Professor Devanesan, who is born from here, and the rare opportunity of Professor Sanjeevaraj discovering this. At this point of time, we gratefully remember Professor Devanesan and Professor Sanjeevaraj. Here we come to make a tribute to Dr. Sanjeevaraj. What are his achievements? Next slide. Oh yeah, so many things have already been said, of which most important is established an Ashwin Biological Laboratory in 1967. That is the greatest innovation. I may be a great scientist, but I am not an innovator. Sanjeevaraj is an innovator. Professor Krishnaswamy, my own teacher, is an innovator. They all visualize what is going to happen after 50 years, 100 years. And thanks to Professor Sanjeevaraj, we have this laboratory. Next slide. This is a Pulicat lab, which has about 480 kilometers. The most important thing is, to the principal,
1/3 of the land, Pulicat land, is surrounded by Andhra Pradesh. Only 1/3 we have, 2/3 they have. And according to Sanjeev Raj, it is shrinking. The context in which we are, Andhra Pradesh has already established a university at Nellore. They have a marine biology separate department. Fortunately or unfortunately, all the faculty members who are appointed at Nellore Marine Biology Department are from Tirupati, who are also again endocrinologists. Therefore, they have not come to the point of ecology. Therefore, it is at a critical time, Mr. Principal Sir, that you have to apply for mega projects, institutional projects of doing teaching in marine science, research in marine science, extension activity, including socio-economic liberation of this community. Either from scientific point of view or from your religious point of view. I don't care. But all these are the things that you have to do before Nellore and Chandrababu Naidu are stepping into the. So this is a critical time that we have to realize. It is surrounded by several industries, including Manali and Sriharapeta, the launching center for all of the satellites. Therefore, this is a vitally very important place. Unfortunately, next slide, surrounded by so many industries. So strategically very important. Also, as I said, the launching center for all our satellites. Therefore, marine science has a meaning to ISRO also. Indicated. Next slide. Now, I look for all kinds of computer search. I have no data on morphometry of Pulicat lab. I have no data on bathymetry of Pulicat lab. No data on salinity. Dr. Electrock took a notice some of these publications. Maybe they are not in indexed journals. Therefore, the visibility of the contribution of Christian Madras College, Madras Christian College is not visible. That we have to take it into account. Now, what we did, I went to Palani, a small dirty town managed by another religious. They did not want to do anything. I was appointed by Madurai University, deputed to Palani. 2 years, 10 months I stayed there. Bloomed into Ministry of Earth Science, has written a book on Indian histories. Pulicat is not finding the place there. Pulicat, in comparison to, say, Adayar, such a beautiful name, Adayar history, because it is Adakapetta or Bellar history, there are no such history there. And just now somebody said we have a lot of data on the banks of this, lot of salinity is there. It's not focus, it's not brought to light. So Sanjay Raj is correct that he named it as a history because salinity is high. But these are not brought to light. This is a very important. So for some reason, this has gone against your mega project. Next slide. Now let's go. What is what? The Honorable Christ came and told us, God has created. Lord Jesus created, let there be light. He created the earth, the planet Earth, and all there is. But what these fellows, Hindu fellows says, Managi, Managi, Variyagi, Muriyagi, let there be light. So he just takes the whole evolutionary history of the whole universe. In my mind, not under Jurassic animals were there, today they are not there. Now Presidency College, Patnadar Awadi, என்று அவரை கூத்தாக்குவானாகி நின்றாயே என்று. So there are Sangamam. Hindus believe also on night, Muriyagi. Christians also believe on the night. Next slide. We are going to talk about a little bit of mythology. According to Hindu mythology, Asuras, the evils, Suras, the good people. met only once in the whole lifetime. பார்க்கடலை இமயமலை மத்தாக வச்சு ஆதிசேஷனை கையாக வச்சு they churned the whole ocean to get Amudam. We are coming back to the last slide of this. Max Muller, I'm sorry, I don't want to go into German poem. Unless everything should come out of ocean. Oceans control the climate. Madras is cooler in comparison to Vellore when it is peak summer. I don't need to emphasize in the days what has happened to 12 districts in the coast of Tamil Nadu because of cause of weather. The whole climate of the whole world is controlled in the ocean. What else is oceans are doing in this life? It controls monsoon. India's geography is unfortunately on the wrong place. Southwest monsoon hits the coast of Kerala sometime in late May or early June and crosses through the whole of India and returns as northeast monsoon sometime September, October, November to us. Unfortunately, Himalayas is covered by ice. It begins to melt sometime in April, when exactly monsoon arrives. This is the reason why where Dr. Devarajan was working, northeast is always flooded. On the other hand, Western Ghats is not more than 6,000 feet altitude. It is never covered by ice. It brings only rain. Nothing else. Next slide. What do we get from ocean? Not only climate, not only monsoon, but also we get fish. Something that the whole world gets something like 17 million metric tons of fish. India gets about, it's our old data, 10 million metric tons of fishes. What else we get? Next slide. We get salt from Sambum, Alamum. Alamna Uddu. Sambuna Nellu. Sambalam comes from that word. Right? We get salt, we get minerals. We get shells from there. Not only that, next slide, it's going to be a small deviation. There was Kerala. There is anything from Kerala, please excuse me. In those days, lions used to send fire to England. And the fire is measured in weight. In the holy coast of Kerala, lion got the water and rolled the fire to increase the weight. So the whole thing went to London. There was a hillock of mountain. The Nobel laureate Otto von Hahn was asked to go and do what it is there in the soil. They discovered thorium. Now the English people send a telegram. Naya, please don't send fire. Please send soil. We'll pay first. என்ன கேட்டா நாம ஒருத்தரை is a big lesson that we have to learn from that. நாம ஒருத்தரை ஏமாந்து நினைச்சா நாம தான் ஏமாந்துட்டோம். இதுல என்னன்னா இயேசு சாமி ரொம்ப நல்ல மனுஷன். அவன் என்ன பண்றான்னு தெரியாது. ஃபாதர் forgive them. அவரையே கொலை பண்ணி ஒரு குத்தி குத்துறான். அப்ப அவர் என்ன சொல்றா? Father forgive them. This is from Luca. Father forgive them for they do not know what they are. And Hindu method was a difference. Hindus follow Newtonian law. In dharma manna, you are my blessings. In adharma manna, you are confused. So that is the kind of thing. So we come to know if you do dharma, மித்தவார ஏமாற்றம் இருந்தால் நீ ஏமாற மாட்டாய். ஒரு அரசாங்கம் மக்களை ஏமாற்றாமல் இருந்தால் மக்களை ஏமாற்ற முயற்சித்தால் அந்த அரசாங்கம் கவிழ்ந்து விடும் அல்லது தோற்று போவார். அதுதான் சர்க்கார். The reason is we have started getting fresh water from sea water. So these are all, that is why Max Muller said everything should come out of ocean. So we are getting everything out of ocean. Next slide. Now, most important thing, coastal area is the most productive area, where the whole everything is cycle. Organic matter is cycle. Pulicat like is one such typical example. Now, how does the population of India, please forget that Nepal area, if you see the population, southern part of Andhra, whole of Tamil Nadu, and whole of Kerala has a population density of 500,000 people per kilometer length. It's the most populated area in the coastal area. So if anything is to come, Tamilians and Keralans are going to be the most critical people in South. This is the reason why we need many more marine biological stations in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. And this is the reason why I would like to beg you, sir, make a very strong foundation. Next slide. Seawater covers 70% of the whole globe. Holds 97% of all the water available. Freshwater covers only 1% of the whole world and holds 0.01% of water. 0.01% of the water. This is on which the whole world, plants, animals, organisms thrive on. Such a critically very limited factor, freshwater. 2% of it is as isotope in polars. Next slide. Otherwise, subterranean water. That is also under 2%. Next slide. But most important thing that we have to realize is water and matter are recycled. Water is recycled from the ocean. As rain to the land, and then comes back as moisture, goes back, etc. All of you know. But what's the next slide? We are now going to a little bit of molecular biology, what the students say. But you are saying, annual average precipitation for the whole Mother Earth is not more than 86 centimeters per annum. Of this, 77% falls on the oceans. You understand the importance of it. Otherwise, oceans would have been totally solidified, like the Dead Sea, 100 parts per 100 parts per thousand. Only 23% of the rain falls on the land. This is such a precious commodity. Next slide. Now, a little bit of molecules. How do water exist? Because the whole marine biology depends on water. Water has one atom of oxygen and two atoms of hydrogen. It is bound together by what the chemists know hydrogen bond. Not a chemical bond. To break or close it, hydrogen bond does not need so much energy. But if you have a chemical bond, you need a lot of energy to break it or put it forth. Now look at that. If you have a lot of water in the depth, you will see a lot of hydrogen atom. So the one which is on the topmost, you see, there are hydrogen atoms, they look for oxygen atoms to hang on. Because they have to establish a hydrogen bond. There is no oxygen above a particular layer at the surface. And that is why you have a surface tension. This is why surface tension comes into being. Now water can exist in solid form, liquid form, gas form. I brought your attention, hydrogen bonds can be easily broken. It requires less energy, or it can be put together. So when they are put together, it becomes a solid ice. In liquid, it is dispersed. In moisture, it is totally dispersed. This is why water as a molecule can be liquid, can be solid, liquid, or moisture. Next slide. Now, it is on the surface tension some of these idiotic creatures live on, water sliders. Now, little bit of more chemistry. Cotton in all its molecular structure, look at that, oxygen, lot of oxygen atoms free. Silk cloth, very little oxygen. Nylon, even less than that. This is the reason why ladies, when you want to wash your cloth, cotton gets choked immediately because cotton has a lot of free oxygen atoms. The hanging hydrogen atoms hanging on water gets immediately bound by hydrogen atom. Hydrogen bond is established. But in the silk cloth and nylon cloth, what you are doing is you are exposing more and more surface area so that oxygen can establish hydrogen bond. That also, therefore you come to know there is something called surface tension. If you want to break and curriculum, so now you need to have energy to break these hydrogen bonds. We go to Bible. Moses, it is for you. Next slide. Moses came to Red Sea. He had to break these hydrogen bonds in a scientific sense. So he said, Lord, break it. Oh. Ramayana, they made a solid bridge and separated the water. Today we can make bridges hollow, so you don't need to break the surface bond. Ships can go because it needs resistance is provided by hydrogen bonds. This has a lot of things to do with our history. Because if I have spoken about Moses, I should also speak about Alexander. Next slide. Alexander the Great, if you go to history, there is nobody who is called as the Great. At the age of 21, you cannot even control as a teacher, Moses or myself, cannot control 20 students in a classroom for 50 minutes. Alexander controlled 65,000 infantry, 35,000 cavalry, all along the way for 3,800 kilometers from Macedonia to India, passing through Tigris and Euphrates and the Hindu Kush. 12 years, no soldier betrayed. Number class of Alexander, this is why we call Alexander the Great. Alexander traveled on the land. Mr. Finance Officer, the Rivera of Christian College, this is for your message. Now, Alexander traveled 3,800 kilometers in a period of 10 to 11 years, traveling at the speed of 5 kilometers a day. Christopher Columbus came through water, crossing Atlantic 6,000 kilometers at the speed of 150 kilometers per day. I don't need to say about it. Armstrong traveled to the moon at a fantastic speed of 61,540 kilometers per day. So traveling by air is cheaper, time saving. So if any one of your assistants or employee comes to you that I want to travel to Madurai by air, please sanction it. Because traveling by land is costly, time consuming. This is the message. All principals, all administrators have to know now. Next slide. Next slide. We are talking about now, we have to talk about also a little bit of density of water. I talked to you, water can exist in, when it gets into solid, at 4 degrees plus, water density is 1 gram per ml. On either side of it, it decreases. And therefore, in temperate countries, at 4 degrees centigrade, there will be a column of ice. But below that, the temperature are 3 degrees, 2 degrees, and 1 degree, life activities can go on. Next slide. Again, hydrogen cycle. Next slide. Now, global primary production is in the rate of 52% of global primary production is terrestrial, not ocean. 48, because oceans are greatest deserts of all the world. Land is more than 48% oceans. Plankton, trees, etc. I don't have time. Next slide. The total productivity somebody has assessed. Geiga means a billion metric ton. Yeah? 45 to 50 gigaton is produced in the ocean. Next slide. But we are wrongly wrongly teaching you that primary production by is organic. This is proved to be wrong. It is more by bacteria. It's like you are coming to now recycling. So now you have been taught. I want you to locate the red lines alone. This is what you are taught in your MSc and BSc classes. Organic materials dissolved in water. This used sunlight makes a producer. The plant material is consumed by animals. And the animals when they die, and the plants when they die, they are decomposed by bacteria and fungi. But now there are a number of loops. Decomposed algae, fungi, bacteria and fungi can be consumed by all filter feeders. There are many organisms, because seawater is an organic soup. They collect amino acids and sugars directly. They don't have mouth, they don't have eye. This is what Professor Sanjay Rao is talking about force. They have no alimentary canal. They absorb nutrients in the surface. So we come to know there are loops within the loops. I like to bring Hindu philosophy. We have Brahma, who is the producer. We have Lord Shiva, who is the destroyer. And in between is Mr. Vishnu, who keeps the productivity in the intact and gives protection. So the Hindus conceive not only water is recycling, matter is also recycling. I'm sorry, I will skip off some slides, please. Students who are going to be benefited by Madras Christian College as research scholars. Research means it has three dimensions. One is observation. I'm going to take you to physics. Newton made observation. Why apple is falling down? He discovered there is a gravitational force. Okay? This is one kind of a research. Johannes Röntgen in Germany, next slide, was passing electricity from anode to cathode in a vacuum. Please remember, he is making an experiment in a vacuum. Electricity is passed from anode to cathode. There he produced. He called it as cathode rays, but it took a long time for us to realize that was X-ray. So this is an experimental science that comes into being. Third one. Next one. We like to say, G.N. Ramachandra, our own Madrasi, I also know him for a long time. Logic. Science can be based on observation, can be based on experimentation, can be based on logic. So Ramachandran was interested in finding out the molecular structure of protein, which is a highly complex structure. In those days, he had only two kinds of equipment, primitive equipment, X-ray diffraction and crystallography, right? But he was not able to do it. First thing, please understand, never science is born in a very sophisticated laboratory under the leadership of a very big scientist. Science is born when you strike at an idea. That is what Eureka, right? Ideas should come. So the idea came to him when he was, he did not know how to make it. He was reader in Madras University. In these days, you are school and he had only cycle. So he had to clean his cycle every day. So he found out the seed has a helical structure, a spring. And that is where he first landed on molecules can be in a helical structure. One day he was talking to his wife, Nirmala. And he had his shadow photo printer, said, "Moonu priva pandla, rendu priva pandi thoraja yennu." Oi! Ramachandran is a Nobel laureate methodist. One of the greatest scientists after Raman. Wife said, "No buddhi illa kano." tighter நிற்கும்னு சொன்னான். The man got the idea for collagen. He put up the figure, triple helix. That is also logic. Ideas were stricken to him when he was cleaning his cycle or when his wife was tidying his daughter's hair. It's like, we are coming to the last slide. As I promised, they churned the ocean to get the honey, Amazon. Why should we? Is there any meaning? It looks to me, sometime all asuras and devas were infected by cancer. They had to collect the medicine, so they went to stir the ocean. It's like, all of us know, some of you know, in the MSc classes or BSc classes, sponges. Very humble, simple creatures. They have a porous body through which they absorb water and throws it out through oscula. When a larger particles comes, the tongue takes it. Flagella will collect smaller particles. I'm sorry, I did not show those things for one time. Such very small particles. Today, this year, Nobel Prize was given to a physics man who detected a laser technology to collect virus particles, such a small particle like virus. That you have a plate to make what one calls as a bioassay, right? If you want to make a plating of microbes, it's a very important step to make a bioassay. Unfortunately, not one of these microbes sitting here is platable. If one of you could do this, if you can plate these microbes, you will get a Nobel Prize. I wish many of you do this to get Nobel Prize. May I also wish prayerfully Goddess Meenakshi shower her choicest blessings on this institution that comes today. You are celebrating, congratulations, 50 years, 100 years, 500 years. It should become an institute like Scripps Institute of Oceanography, an institute like American Institute, world, it is again also internationally famous institute. I think the best tribute that we can do to Professor Sanjay Raj is that we make this center internationally recognized, acknowledged center. May God bless you all.
Thank you, sir, for spending so much of time with us and endowing our minds with your valuable information.
Ocean, the anchor. So you know how to do nice. Not the other way.
You want the golden hair school.